Welcome to day 2 of Dreamforce. How's everybody doing? Woo! You're like, pretty good, pretty good. All right, how's lunch? Which I'm not going to get to see. All right. My name is Mary Scotton. I'm Senior Director of Evangelism at Salesforce. Excited to share the stage with
Bintu Jalaba, Director of Operations, Girl Develop It.
And we are here to talk about how Girl Develop It delivers community-powered inspiration. And I'm excited that you're here because it's kind of a vague title, but I'm guessing that you're here because you're curious about how you can deliver community-powered inspiration through Girl Develop It.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about that. Do you have one of those? See? All right. But the first thing we want to do is, what we like to do at a lot of our Salesforce talks, is thank you. Is there anybody here who has given back to their community in any way through teaching others Salesforce skills? Yes, 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 yes. At the end, I'm going to ask, is anybody interested in giving back in your community in a variety of ways to teach Salesforce skills? And you're all going to put up your hands, all right? But Bintu and I have been involved with Girl Develop It's partnership with Salesforce to teach Salesforce skills throughout the Girl Develop It ecosystem, through all of your chapters. And I think there's a little pop-up. What's that? Are we good? That's not set up. All right. I'm going to click. I'm going to stand over here and click. Okay. So just want to say thank you to everybody, both who's volunteered for Girl Develop It classes or any of the other classes that are happening in the community. So one of my favorite things about the Salesforce community is how people are giving back on their own time and volunteering. And that's really, that's what drives GDI, right? Volunteer hours.
Exactly. GDI, first of all, I want to talk a little bit about GDI and tell you what our purpose is. GDI was started to give women the opportunity to engage the technology field, to learn and to become to make self-determined decisions. GDI started in New York City in 2010, and within 24 hours, our classes sold out. Today, from just 17 chapters in 2014, GDI has expanded to about 57 chapters in, let's say, 33 cities. And all that is due to the help and the effort that our volunteers and the women in our community give. Thank you so much.
One of the things that I think is most interesting is just how many members you have in the GDI community, and then also how many students have been taught. Right? So more than 95,000 students have gone through a GDI program, and GDI teaches adult women to code. And so I got inspired 2 years ago to say, well, how do we teach those same women? You know, a lot of them are maybe changing careers or just starting their career or coming back from being home with their kids. How do we engage them in the Salesforce community? And so I think it's pretty cool that you've taught that many folks over that time. I also think with GDI and what I have seen in our involvement is the opportunity that volunteering gives for leadership. So maybe in your day job, you're doing, you're an individual contributor, but in the Girl Develop It community, you could be a chapter leader or a volunteer or an instructor.
Exactly. We have a path where you come in, you take a class, then you become a teacher's assistant, where you come in, you practice your skills, and you help other women learn how to code. After being a teacher's assistant, you could decide to elevate to like an instructor or maybe a chapter leader. So GDI allows women the opportunity to grow and become leaders in tech. Another important thing about GDI is that we feel that every woman can learn, and we allow women the opportunity to grow, to learn, and we provide a welcoming environment. We make it safe for you to ask questions, we are judgment-free, and we invert the norm. So whoever wants to learn, no matter how old you are, as long as you're a woman over 18, you can come and we can assist you. You're comfortable, you're relaxed, you're free to ask questions, totally judgment-free.
And I love that, and I feel like that is, we have a lot in common with the Salesforce community. It's a very welcoming community, a very inclusive community. So that's why we really wanted to get the two things together and enable more women to join the Salesforce economy. So you may have seen this slide yesterday in the keynote. it's pretty exciting that this is such a thriving economy, thanks to all of you and thanks to our partners. And so we really wanted to say, well, how do we engage more women in this economy? And, Girl Develop It, you're teaching front-end dev, back-end dev, all types of development skills. And what I think is cool is that we're actually all hitting, we're both inspiring women to learn top jobs. So full stack developer, top tech job, right? That's what Girl Develop It's focused on.
Exactly.
Right? Salesforce administrator, Salesforce developer, 2 of the top 10 jobs. So, the goal is to really get more women on these platforms. We have something else in common. Rad Women, right? Anybody part of the Rad Women program here at Salesforce? Yes. All right. So we have a program called Rad Women. It's radical Apex developers, learning our Apex skills. So we decided to partner, and we actually made it official last year at Trailhead DX. And Corinne Warrenshoes, who's the executive director of Girl Develop It, was on stage at Mark Benioff and announcing our partnership. So we're really excited about it. And just quick stats, and then we're going to tell a story. So since we started with our 2 pilot classes in 2015, we have been just growing and growing the program. And this year, Corinne and I said to each other, let's just see how many we can do, right? So we did 10 cities last year. Let's do 20 cities, and we'll do as many as we can. And so at this point, we've taught over 250 women and men, actually, how to build apps on the Salesforce platform through that. And one of the things that's really exciting, I don't know if you know this, but when you do Trailhead, we can kind of tell that you're doing it. And so I can look and see everyone who's taken the class, which is called Intro to App Building with Salesforce. Everyone who's taken that class, do they continue to learn on Trailhead? And 25% of them do. It's a 1-day class. And they come in knowing nothing about Salesforce. And so they come out inspired and wanting to learn more and able to learn more for free on Trailhead, which is pretty cool. And just to put it in context, GDI is part of a Trailblazer movement. Right? So there are other programs going on, Salesforce Saturdays, Pep Up Tech, Trailhead for All. So it's Girl Develop is just one opportunity that you can get involved in the Salesforce community to teach skills in your community. And that's an entry point to the Salesforce ecosystem, which again is a really great opportunity. So we're running a little late. I'd tell you all these things about learning and earning and connecting, but what I'd really like to do is tell you a story, a Trailblazer story about some of our instructor and one of our students. So please welcome to the stage, Reba De La Paz and Courtney Burris.
Woo! Come on, man. That was real
That was
sad.
terrible.
Right?
We at Dreamforce. I'm rocking the 3 stripes. I want All right. Y'all eating.
So Reba, why don't you tell us a little bit? You were a volunteer, like Bintu said. You start as a volunteer and you move up to an instructor. Tell me about that path.
So Mary taught a class that was last year, right? Yeah, in Chicago. And I TA'd. And one of the things I got to do was talk with a lot of the students individually as an assistant. And little did I know that by talking to people and helping them, I was making impacts in one day. So that one day last year spurred on 2 certified admins with jobs 3 months later. I then became a lead instructor with 2 other ladies in Chicago, and we have since taught 2 classes in Chicago this year. Courtney here was in our February class. Courtney, did you know anything about Salesforce before February?
No.
February.
That was it.
2017. Courtney's in our class.
16.
No, this year.
I TA'd this year.
Huh?
I TA'd this year.
Yes, you TA'd, but we did 2 classes this year. See, things went so fast, Courtney didn't even realize that it's been that short of amount of time, and it was one day. She came, attended the class, and she came back and was a TA. And then she went to Midwest Dreaming and was in the Salesforce admin's blog posts. And now, Courtney, please tell them.
Oh, goodness.
Tell them.
About what? So I knew nothing about Salesforce. I'd heard the name a couple times at GDI seminars, Girl Develop It. I was with Girl Develop It for a couple of years, had been a member, was going to a number of classes, and when the Salesforce one popped up, it said Intro to App Building, and I was like, sure, absolutely, I want to make apps, absolutely. So I went, and Revi was the teacher, and it wasn't at all what I expected it to be. I don't know what I didn't expect it to be a cloud program that organized all this information and held all this information. I didn't really know what to expect, but I definitely didn't expect it to be as big or as easy and awesome as it actually is. So after we did the class and we built a battle station, I just ran with it. I kept taking it, and awesome Revi held a contest. She held a contest who could get the most badges in a month, and I was all on that because we were getting a hoodie, and I won and got the hoodie, which has been asked about many times now. And yeah, and I've just kept up with it. And then she asked me to TA, and I was like, sure, why not? I'll, nice refresher course and keep going. And then I wasn't sure if I wasn't going to be able to go to Midwest Dreamin', and Revi made that happen for me. And then when I got there, I met other people who had TA'd and other teachers. They introduced me to Mary, who then was like, oh, you were from GDI. Well, how about I introduce you to Jillian and Mike? And let's do a podcast now that I've met you for 5 minutes ago.
I'd really like to thank you if I haven't yet, so I appreciate your...
Thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic, yeah. And what I think about that Trailblazer journey is that full circle, right? So you're in the class learning, but then you're also coming back around and giving back. And that's when we talk about being a Trailblazer, it's, you're leading the way, and then you're circling back into your community. And that's what I'd really like to encourage everybody to do. And now I'm sure you're wondering, Mary, how can I get involved, as a teaching assistant or an instructor like Revi, or how do I get my friends involved in being a student like Courtney? So glad you asked. Take a picture of this. If you're in one of these cities, these are the cities that we are supporting in the partnership right now. The bit.ly is GDI, Salesforce Volunteer, and so you can register to say, hey, I'm really interested. I would love to teach a class or be a volunteer for the Salesforce class in my city. And the men in the audience, you're thinking, what about me, Mary, right? How do I get involved in Girl Develop It? So Girl Develop It classes are available for all genders, and the instructors and the volunteers can be all genders as well. And so we've had a number of men in the Salesforce community come and volunteer, and that's been fantastic. So I guess you're wondering, you talked a little bit about Trailhead. I feel like I really like GDI. I wonder if they use the platform as a nonprofit, and where can I find out more about that? And so if you're interested in Trailhead, catch the Trailhead keynote today, 4 p.m. in the Marriott. Write it down. Tomorrow, admin keynote. It's possible you might see a sneak peek of how Girl Develop It is running their organization. You might even see Bintu again. And with that, I just want to thank all of our guests and just go with the bottom line, right? Why are we doing this? Why do we have this partnership? Why do we want you to get involved? It's because there are good jobs to be had in the Salesforce ecosystem, and we can start women on that trail, and we can do it together if you will volunteer and participate. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all.
You.